know that I have got company in you. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Skill Up Show. My name is Mary Beth Chima. The Skill Up Show is that show where we tell you, or where we bring you skills for the week that you can incorporate straight up into your parenting. Who is with me? If you are with me, please don't stay in the background. Let me know that I've got company in you. Okay, let me know that you have joined me for this show. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we're looking at how we can get our children interested in productive things, irrespective of their age. Do you have a child who is 2 years old? You have a child who is 10, 12, 15, 18? You can get them involved in productive things. All right, how can you do that? That's what we're talking about today. If you are here, please don't just be in the background, say something in the comments so that we know that we have got company in you. All right. If you have joined me, let me know that you have joined me. Let me see you. I want to see your comment. I want to see you in the house. Let's skill up. Okay. Let me see if we can get other people to join us. Everyone. It doesn't work from here. All right, I'm waiting. I'm just going to stay a few minutes to see who is joining us. Let's see who is joining us. Doesn't seem to be working here. So who's joining us for the Skill Up show? Who are those joining us for the show? If you are here, let us know that you are here. You are in the background. All right. Let me know. I'm going to wait here for a few minutes to see who is joining me for the show. All right. I don't know if the Skill Up show, the time for the show, I hope the time for this show is a good time for us because the participation is not so great. We would like to see more people participate in the Skill Up show because it's a lot of impact that is going on here. All right. So if you're here, let's skill up. If you're here, please say something in the background. Let me know that you can see me, that you can hear me clearly. Okay, so that I can shoot. All right, let me know that you can see me and you can hear me so that we can shoot. My name is Mary Bachima. As I said, if you're catching the replay, welcome. Okay, let us know that you are catching the replay. Just say in the comments, replay. If you're watching me on YouTube, if you are watching me on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. If you have not subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have lots and lots and lots of videos in there that will bless you. We have lots of videos in there that will help you in your parenting. I was just in a show a few minutes ago and they asked me what advice I can give to parents right now, people who are parenting children right now. And I said to them, the first advice I'm going to give to every parent is to get skilled up. Get skills. Hi, Chinima. It's good to see you, ma'am. How are you doing? How are my men? Okay, how are your super boys? All right, I'm sure they're doing great. My love to them. All right, everyone, if you are here, we're looking at how you can get your children interested in productive things. If you're watching on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, and then you need to use the notification button. Just click on that bell so that every time we go live, you can see that we are live and you can join us live and ask all your questions real time. All right, if you're on Facebook, is there someone you know who needs to be here? Tag them right now. A parent of a preteen. Preteens are children that are between, or tweens as we call them, they're children between school age and teenage age. So we're looking at your children somewhere around ages 7, 8, this show is for you, that parent. If you have children who are younger, of course, this show is also for you. Parenting is not an emergency. Parenting is something that you need to learn before your children get to that stage. So you are better off as a parent if you have the knowledge that you need before you get into that phase. It means that you can prepare ahead. I hope there is no one here as a parent who does not have parenting plans or is not creating plans for parenting. Parenting is a big deal. Please, let's not wing it and let's not treat it as one of those things that are not important. If you make plans, you go for training and all of that for you to get a job. If you make plans, you go to marriage school for you to get married, you go for marriage classes for you to get married. Okay, if you make plans and you train for you to raise dogs and chickens and fish and all of that, if you make plans and you train for you to get better at your job, then it is not sensible. It does not make sense at all that you think that you should not make plans and you should not train or get knowledge for you to raise human beings, for you to do a job that you have never done before. It doesn't matter if you have children who are 18 or 20 years old. The truth is, you have not parented the one that you're parenting that is 2 months old. You have never parented that one before. So every time you have to parent a new child, it's a different ball game. It's a new task. It's a new job, and you need knowledge, and you need knowledge and grace, of course, to do that. Okay, I see you. Thank you, Nke Ru Abigail. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Praise. I see you. Hi, Antonia. It's a lot. I mean, it's a while. I hardly see you online these days. How are you doing? I'm sure it's probably me. Okay, I trust you're doing well. Hey, Chidima, good to see you. Thank you for joining me. Okay, now let's go right into the crux of the matter, because this is supposed to be a short session. The Skill Up Show is a show that we have every Monday at 2 p.m. 1 p.m. Okay, the goal of the show is to, take skills and pass them down to parents. Okay, we just give you tips and tips, hacks here that you can use and apply in your parenting for the week. Go ahead and do this, apply this, and see, you will see improvement, and then you can keep working on that skill throughout the week and even beyond. That's what we do. Okay, we have other systems where we do the whole hand holding, right, program. We have other systems that go beyond just the tips and the hacks. Okay, we have the mastermind program for the young children. That's where we support you as a parent. We join you on your journey in raising your children. So we come with you on that journey, and we help you ensure that you are consistent. We work with the children to ensure that your children are practicing every day. Okay, repetition is the mother of all learning. It's very important. Consistency is important in every learning. So what the the mastermind program does is it helps your children stay on track every day of the year. Okay, and then it creates accountability for your children. If you want to succeed in any endeavor at all, ensure that you have systems and people that hold you accountable. Now that's what the mastermind program is. It holds your child accountable. It puts you, the parents, on your toes. Basically, it helps you not wane in your support of your children. Of course, there are other parenting group that you can join, right, to help you create accountability for you as a parent. Go ahead. Okay, I said in that session that I was in a few minutes ago, get knowledge. Number two, get yourself in a community. What a community does for you is the community empowers you. The community reminds you of what your commitments are, and the community gives you knowledge. I mean, new knowledge, gives you knowledge and gives you knowledge and gives you tips, basically, okay, that you can use in your parenting. More than that, get accountability as a parent. Get accountability. More than what you do with us in the community, we will point you into what you're supposed to do. We would share knowledge with you. We will share knowledge with you, point you, to what is important for time of that, right? But you need a system that will hold you accountable and ensure that you are applying all the things that you are learning. What a lot of us have done as parents over the years is we have gathered knowledge. We've been gathering knowledge. We come for free programs, we gather knowledge and all of that. Now implementation becomes a problem because a lot of us do not know how to implement these things. And some of us will even start, we implement, but after that, we cannot keep the steam. So after a while, we begin to falter, we begin to fall. I mean, even for simple things like consequences, right? Simple things like consequences, your children understanding consequences and knowing that in life, life is about consequences. Sometimes as parents, we cannot even hold that whole system of consequences so that we ensure that our children see this, us being consistent with these consequences over and over again, such that they internalize that this particular thing or behavior is totally unacceptable. Because every time you pose it, or every time it shows up, there are consequences for it. Okay, so an accountability group will help you stay consistent as a parent. And hey, I always say this: your child is on his own journey. He's on her own journey. Your children are on their own journey. So after all that you've done with your children, if you don't give them a chance to start their journey and be a part of their journey every day, okay? If you don't allow them consolidation, all that you've learned, all that you teach them, their teachers teach them, they teach them in school, the mentors teach them, all of those things. Your children should be able to put all of that together and begin to apply it in their lives without force, without you shouting, without you screaming. Okay. And a great way to do it is put them in a community. Okay. Put them in a community, okay, where they have peers who are also walking the same journey with them. So they are learning from their peers, they are being inspired by their peers, they see themselves as leaders, and they are inspiring other people. In doing all of this, your children begin to internalize, okay, and it moves from all of this being externally motivated to them motivating themselves to the point that they become determined. And that's what we do at the master. That's what the mastermind is about. We call ourselves the consolidation. That's the place where your child puts all that you have been teaching them, their teachers, their church, their mosque, everything, all of that, the mentors, all of it, and they begin to live their own journey with their peers. We say in the mastermind, every child is a leader. That's why we have the children lead themselves in every meeting. I was in a meeting yesterday in the mastermind and I was blown away. I was just in the background. The children had all the conversations. It was just a beautiful thing to behold. They had the conversations, they moved their conversation, deep conversations. I'll share some clips with you guys in a bit. All right, so that's it. Very, very key. So, yes, today is 4 tips. Okay, you want hand holding and deep accountability. Then send your children to us at the mastermind, and you can come to us, and we'll refer you to accountability groups where you can be. But more than that, we have the group. You can get all the knowledge that you want in the group, of course, and you can get all the knowledge that has to do with your children in the group. Okay, you have your responsibility as a parent. Okay, your accountability group will tell you your responsibility as a parent. So let's look at what we can do to help our children become, our children interested in being productive. How we can help our children become productive people. Now, you know me, I like to start. I like to go right to the basics. I like to start right from the root, from the beginning. Okay, how you can even program this from the beginning, or how you can get your children to imbibe this, right, as a lifestyle. It begins right from when they are little. Okay, that's where you begin to get your children interested in productive things. When your children are just little babies, when your children are very young. So if you're a toddler parent, I envy you guys every day. If you're a toddler parent and you're already on this journey and you're ready, invested in your intentional parent journey. Hey, Omola, I am sorry, Omola, you've not heard from me. Shit, you can what I'm talking about, right? It's been a bit on the low right here. Okay, but you will hear from me today. All right, Doctor. Nice to have you here. Thank you, everyone who is here. I see you, Margaret. I see you, Abby, Agatha. Thank you for joining me. All right. So, as I said, it begins right from the cradle, getting your children to be productive. Now, the first productive thing that your child will do is play. Parents, the first productive thing that your child would do from a young age is play. Play is productive. Play is how you make young children become productive. So, are you a parent of a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, let your child play with reckless abandon. All right, let your child play with reckless abandon. Now, the most you can do, or what you want to do, is begin to infuse structure into your system from day one. So, yes, let it be known that you're saying, let me assume that learn through play. Yes, ma'am. So let's assume that your child is at home at age 1 and 2. Okay. If you really do not have to take your child to a center at age 2, please don't. All right. If you really do not, there is really nothing wrong with having your child be at home at age 2. All right. So now you have that from so and so time. Let's say from morning till from when the child wakes up. You have your routines. The child has a bath at this time and eats at this time and all of that. Now, I want to introduce something like reading books. Okay, so you read a story with the child, or whoever is attending to the child reads a story, educative activities. Exactly. So you read a story with the child and all of that. Now you want to do this in a playful way. Okay, that's what we're talking about. So when you're reading stories, so there is no point reading stories to your 2-year-old and the stories are not interactive. Let the book be interactive in a way that the child sees it as play. So no, you can't take a book and read to your 2-year-old and you say, one day Cinderella was she was a good girl. No, 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 no. You have to be dramatic. As I said, I'm giving you as they do me kind of tips. Okay. So it is practical. So you want to pick a book and say, oh, and so on that day, Cinderella. So that's how you want to read to your Cinderella was so happy and then, oh, on the other day, she wasn't so happy. And then she was sad. Oh, and you want to give life to reading when you are reading to your young children. Give it life. Act it out. Yes, Chidima. You want to act it out. You want to give it life. You want to be, there has to be the high tones. There have to be the low tones. There have to be the dramatization. Oh, and then she put on her shoes and then she danced. You stand up and then you dance and all that. You would realize that as the child grows older, when it's time, you will see the child stand up and the child begins to dance. You need to introduce play. It is productive. Yes. Okay. Now, after that, there is the outdoor play. Now, when your child goes outdoor to play, the most you can do, or the parents, is go in there and make sure that the space where your child is going to play is safe. Let the space, take off sharp objects and things that can be injurious and all of that. Then, apart from that, let the child express themselves in their play. Allow your child be as expressive as possible. And of course, the child, of course, because you're building social skills, it's important that your child plays with you or with other people. Okay, so yes, I know that's the argument where people will say, oh, I want to take them to school early. Okay, so if you can take them to those centers where it's not a lot of, my problem is when we take them to centers and at 2, our only concern is having them read and sound letters. No, if you're going to take them to a center, where they can be with other children and they can interact for the social skills, so that when they are playing with reckless abandon, as I said, they are doing it in an interactive way. So he's playing with Joy and he's playing with Alex, and they are figuring things together. Okay, he's playing with that child that is 4 and he is 2, and he's learning from the 4-year-old how the 4-year-old is handling something. Your child is being explorative, your child is being active, your child is creative, your child is expressive, your child is exploring, your child is discovering things for themselves. This is productivity. Okay, so the first thing your child will do that is productive, the fourth productive thing that your child will do is play. So if you have young children, you have children that are young, and when I say young, even if you have, even your preteens too should still play. Okay, it's just that as they grow older, the mode of playing is going to be different. So yesterday, my less TV, of course. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Yesterday was Sunday, right? Okay, yesterday was Sunday, and my daughter, oh my God, that girl played. I mean, my neighbors know what when you say play. My neighbors know if they didn't have their children play, or if they didn't realize what play was. With my daughter and her friend, she has a friend D, you know, I mean, in my neighbor, and if you didn't know what play was with these two girls, you knew what play was, so she was playing. I was doing, what was I making? I was trying to make something in the kitchen, and she was like, yucky. And I'm like, yucky? Is this as yucky as those mud soups and mud stuff that you and your friend D used to do outside? And she's like, oh mommy, we don't play that kind of play anymore. All right. She's like, we don't play that kind of play anymore. So basically, they are not cooking mud soups in their bowls and plates. I mean, she takes every bowl in my house that she doesn't. Yes, so that every bowl in my house that she doesn't think anybody's using anymore. Every old pot, everything. You will see her bargain for pot. Mommy, this your pot is not looking nice. Can we have it? Like, this pot is not looking nice again. Now you should be using better pot. Can we have it? Oh, mommy, I don't use this plate anymore. Can I use it? And then she's out with it and all of that. Now they will grow, as in they will move, or they will gravitate, or what would they call it? They will grow from one kind of play to the other, but it's going to be on their terms. It's going to be their discovery. It's going to be so. These days, what they do more, she and her friend D, what they do more is they create arts. These days, yesterday she came and she said she was creating a choo-choo train, right? So she had the coaches and all of that. It's amazing, because those children are hands-on and they're always doing this. It's amazing what they create. I am telling you, it's amazing. You will actually look at it and you will see as it's actually a choo-choo train. So they figure this out. They make tires, with their cardboard paper and all of that. They do all of these things on their own. So yes, the number one thing you want to do is allow your child play. Please say that. All right. So allow them play, please. Okay. So play is the first productive thing that your child would do. All right. The next creative thing and productive thing that your child would do is your child will begin to create things. Okay. Your child will create things. Right. And how do you get children to create things? You get children to create things by creating the environment for them to create. All right. Creating the environment to create. It was I don't know who, I saw that quote somewhere. It says creativity, or a creative life, is an amplified life. A creative life is an amplified life. When you can create, that is how you are able to impact people. Okay, it is creatives that impact people. If you're not creating anything, all right, there isn't much for people to connect with. It is your creativity that people connect with, and that's how you are able to impact people. Now, we will not wake up, children will not wake up one day at age 18 and begin to create. It has to start from creating and appreciating their creativity. That's where they get the passion to create more. That's where they get the confidence to create more, isn't it? So when your child begins to create all those little things, and every time they create them, you are excited, they are excited, you are excited about their creativity. Oh wow, nice, amazing. And then you have them put it up somewhere. You have them put it in a way, in places where they can be appreciated. My daughter will create something. When her father comes in, she would run, get it, and go to her father's room and say, Daddy, guess what? See what I created. See what we created today and all of that. And he's like, oh, nice, amazing. And then the next day she wants to create again. And the next day she wants to create again. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is get your children into that creative space. Okay, and that creativity space or creative space is by the environment that you create in your home, okay, and the resources that you make available. Now you will notice I have not said anything about get your children off the TV. Okay, I'm not saying anything. In fact, I wanted to tag this, how to get your children off the screen. But no, getting them off the screen, you know isn't getting them off the screen isn't a topic on its own, or isn't a problem on its own. It is how engaged your children are in productive things that will make the TV inconsequential. I mean, did I speak that English well? It will make the TV irrelevant, or it will make them not binge on the TV or run to the TV every time. So that's where you can create structure around screen time, basically. But you know what we do a lot of times is you come and you listen to one coach, or you listen or you read one book, or you read one research about screen time and how it's not right and all of that. It's not so great and all of that. And what happens? You go off and then you begin to shout in your home, hey, no more screen time, screen time is not good for you and all of that. What have you put in place to replace that screen time? Okay, so what I'm saying to you basically is, if from day one you have your children engaged in productivity or productive things, screen time will not be an issue in your home. Okay, binging on screen or excessive screen time will not be an issue in your home, because it was never a lifestyle. So most of us who struggle with our children being on screen and all of that, were fighting, is because it was a lifestyle, or it is a lifestyle in your home. Now it's like, you have lived this life. This is all they've known right from when they were little. And then you wake up one day because one coach said, one book said, someone said, and then you wake up and then you come to a child that this is the only thing that the child knows, and you say you can't do it, okay, anymore. It takes time. They will struggle with it, and all of that. So why don't you just spare them if you are a parent of a young child? All right. So create the environment for creativity in your home. Create the environment for creativity in your home. When there is that environment for your children to, create things, use everything, and every material available, okay, keep it for them and give them access to those materials. When you do that, they will figure out what they want to create on their own. Okay, they will figure out what they want to create on their own. Okay, very, very important. All right. Number 3 is get involved. Okay, get involved in productive things that you want your children to be, productive things. When your children eventually find the things that make them productive, or the productive things to do, now get involved. There is something about your child knowing that you are interested in what they are doing. It's not just children, it's everybody. Okay, for those of us who are married, there is the push that you have, or there is that thing, that satisfaction that you have, just knowing that your spouse is with you on whatever it is that you are doing, isn't it? All right. It's very important when we know that the people around us are supportive of what we do. It gives us the extra push, or the extra ginger, as we say it. Okay, the extra ginger that you need. So when your children begin to do productive things, get interested in what they are doing. Now, am I saying you should do these things with them every day? No, you can create some structure around it, create a routine around it. So if you want to create something with them every weekend, that is something, especially if your children are very young. All right, if you want to create something with them every weekend, that is fine. Okay, at the time when our son started a YouTube channel, it was very easy for us to create models. So for every science topic we taught, or he delivered, right, for every science topic he created a model for it. Now, it was easy to do that because we have always created models. And science is a good way. Science is a good way to get into that space of creativity in your home. All right. So they say art is very great for extending learning, right? Art is amazing to extend learning. So whatever it is that your children are learning in school, okay, you can come home, look at what they are learning in school, and use art, right? Use art to reinforce or to extend that learning. There's something that you can create for everything that your children are doing in school, especially if you're a toddler parent. So if your child is learning a particular topic in school, you can actually come and thank God for Google. Google is such a great friend. Apart from Google, we have all of these, educational sites that you can use. We even have educational groups, right? If you go look for Radio Emilia, if you look for Radio Emilia group, you will see some Radio Emilia group in on Facebook. Look for Montessori. You will see some Montessori groups on TV, on youth, on Facebook. Okay, even on Instagram. If you look for um, uh, there are just a lot of them. There are just a lot of them. I was going to remember one. Uh, if I just type in anything, then natural learning, whatever it is. My friend runs one. It's called the emergent teacher. All right. So if you're a parent of a toddler, these are groups that you can check. The emergent teacher. So she has, resources and activities in there that you can use and you can try. All right. Basically, so get into that space, even if it's just once in a week that you sit down. That's what I used to do. Once in a week, we create models together. So once in a week, we finish our morning routines, we'll finish all our chores and all of that. I've done all of the errands, run all the errands and all of that. So that's back then we used to start from 2 o'clock. All right. So from 2 up to about 6, I had that time. All right. So from 2 to about 6, we were just creating models. So what you hear is, oh, we're doing circulatory system, and then we begin to search what experiments we can do on circulatory system, or what model we can create of the circulatory system. So we do that together and all that, and then we put it somewhere in the room. The back of the door always was a catch for us. So the back of the door becomes the catch. So we have that model. So I stick the model. I use a lot of thumb pins. So I stick the model with thumb pins, and it's there. So we keep referring to that model, for some time, for a long time, until, we get the next model that we're creating, and all of that. So when you do this, you internalize, apart from, even in the education, even in their academics, you help them internalize what they are learning more. But more than that, you help them be hands-on with their learning. And then, of course, you get them into that space where they are creating things. Now, if this isn't productive, if this isn't productive, then I wonder what else is productive. All right. So very, very important. Number 3, you get involved. You know how we give you, most times we give you 5 tips every day. Yeah. Okay. So that's it. Get involved in what they're doing that is productive. Now, number 4, as your children get older, there is something that you must, if I not just from day one, you must look for how to introduce this, or to make this a part of your conversation as your children are growing. Now that conversation is going to keep, you're going to keep mounting on that conversation as you grow older, as they grow older. Okay. You're going to keep mounting on that conversation, and that conversation is the conversation about value. Okay, it's a conversation about creating value in the world. I don't know, right? I don't know what you say or what conversations you have with your children, but today, let the conversation about the value that your child can give to the world, let it be a constant conversation in your home. Okay, let it be a constant conversation in your home. The value that your children can give to the world. Talk about it. All right. So when my children are doing things, when my children are doing anything at all, they're always thinking of who needs what they are doing. So my daughter wants to create something. She says to you, Mommy, I'm going to create a stand for your. Oh, I took it away. She created a stand for my pen in my office, in my home office. So she's always thinking who is going to need it. So when she creates a choo-choo train, she will say, oh, Dara lost choo-choo trains. I'm going to create her a choo-choo train. All right. So at every point, let the conversation be what value you can give. Let it be about who needs it. This is how you get your children into that space of thinking productivity at all times. Who needs it? Who is going to need it? Who is going to need it? Okay. So our son, right? Our son was talking to who that's what conversation, who I can't remember where that conversation was. Okay, and he was talking and he said something, so I was saying to somebody the other day, the last time I created a script for my son, he's 13 years old right now. The last time I created a script for my son was when he was 9 years old. Okay, I used to create when he started doing the YouTube channel. I used to create his scripts, right? So I'll create his script for him, the area of the science that he's going to teach. I'll create the script and all of that, and then I'll give him a script. And what I realized was he never delivered from my scripts. So I'll give him the script. This is what you read and all of that. So, but I think it didn't make sense, right? It's a science video and he's there sometimes for 5, 8, 10 minutes. So I guess how much can you cram for 5, 8, 10 minutes, right? So, but for some reason, my 8-year-old never used my script when he started. So he will look at it, he will look at the script and all of that. But when it's time to deliver, he will say his own thing, right? From his own perception or his own perspective or how he understands it and all of that. And I found that, gladly that he was, I found out like fortunately that he was always on point. Basically, he would deliver it in his own way, but he would deliver it. And so by the time he was 9, I didn't bother. So even his speeches, when I do his speeches, he would still deliver his speech the way he wants to deliver his speech. So I stopped doing it because I realized, okay, this is a strength for him. Okay, I don't know. I mean, your child could still need them, but for him, I realized that this is a strength. Okay, so I stopped creating. So the most I say is, okay, why don't you go ahead and create something and I will look at it, and add whatever. Okay, at some point, his speech coach will look at it when he has like a speech to deliver in school and all of that. He creates it and all, and he sends it to her, and then she says, "Okay, add this, add that, or this is okay, and this is fine, and all of that." Right? So that's it. So basically that. So most times he gives those speeches, or the times he does, one of his, mastermind and other places like that. It's fully him doing his thing. So, but I heard him say in that meeting that there is nothing wrong with children, beginning to have businesses or do things that will help them, that things that will pay them, basically where people will pay them, provided, that's him saying, provided their parents can help them see it from a place of value and not just about the money that they earn. I was talking to my coach the other day. Yes, the coach is going coach. So I was talking to my coach, Coach Wendy, the other day, and I was a bit worried. And I said to her, okay, I don't know. My son is not conscious about money. He's earning money. So he does the things that he does. He earns money and he's not obsessed about keeping his money, not losing his money and all of that. So in his piggy bank, he has money for gifting. He has his gifting money. And he looks at his list of people that have birthdays for that month. He has just one person with a birthday for the month. And it takes a whole 6,000 naira. I mean, for a 30-year-old, back then, if it was just 12, he would take a whole 6,000 naira and buy a present for a classmate. Like, 6,000 naira. Like, you understand? So in my head, I'm like, and then he goes to buy stuff for his sister, and he goes and he sees a bow, and the bow is like 4,500 naira. And he looks and he's like, okay, I got 8,000 naira in my piggy, and that's fine. And then he buys without thinking about it. I'm like, why is it not hoarding? Why is it not? I said, why is it not hoarding? And then she says to me, he's a child. First of all, he's a child. And then some other person said, he's a child and he knows that he can make it again, basically. So where the focus should be is now, teaching him and helping him see that you're okay. This money you're spending on this particular thing is it money that can be invested, right, to multiply more. That's and you can still get what you want to get. But hey, is there a way to invest it? So as they grow older, they will begin to learn all these other things, right? How to multiply it, how to invest it, and all of that. But hey, in the meantime, you need to start teaching children about value. So when they are doing anything, let them do it from the place of who can I use, or who can I use this thing to impact? Okay, now when impact is the goal, when reaching out to other people is the goal, then there is, and I mean, how do I put it now? It is a motivation, okay, and it is a motivation to show up. That's how we are as human beings. When we know that there is something that is depending on us, when we know that there's something waiting for us, it's the same reason you wake up at whatever time as a mother. It's the same reason you wake up, you go to the kitchen, you cook, and you do all that, because you know that you have children who are waiting for you. If you do not show up, they are, I mean, especially when they are younger, okay, if you don't show up, they don't get to eat. It's the same reason as a father. When you know that you have a family that is dependent on you, if you don't show up, there is, so it's the same way. Let children know, let them think of impact, let them think of value when they are creating. Who needs it? Who am I creating this for? Okay, when you do that, then the passion will remain, because there is always someone. Now, if it's just solely on them, then there are days that I really do not care about. If I don't have a business being here today, right? I don't have a business being here today. But hey, this is me here today because I know that I need to be here today for this session. I have put out that I'm going to be here for this session. The people who expect me to be here for this session. So even if it's 5 people that show up, or 10 or 100 or 200 people, I will still show up. It doesn't matter the number of people who show up here. I will still show up because, hey, it is something that I know that I have to, all right, because I already created this value outside of myself. Now, if the value remains around you, okay, that's when you get satisfied. I already have 1 million in my bank. Let me just chill a beg. How many days? Can I finish 1 million in? Do you understand? But when it's beyond the thing that comes to you, it's beyond just you, it's about the value that you are giving out, then you realize that the passion keeps swirling, because you know, or you feel that something or someone is depending on you. All right, so that's number 4. Number 4 is get your children to see everything that they do from a place of value. Who am I going to bless with this thing? Who needs this thing? What problem am I solving with this thing? What solutions can I create? Who needs that solution? At all times, let it be from a place of value. As they grow older, they will understand this. My 7-year-old already understands the place of value in what she is doing. My 13-year-old absolutely understands the place of value from what he is doing. We're in a session yesterday, the mastermind session yesterday. The mastermind is a peer mentorship accountability group that we run. I run it in partnership with my son. He's the lead partner. Now, in the mastermind, we tell the children, every one of you is a leader. All right, so they are leading themselves. It's not just him. Okay, gone are the days where we have the sessions and it's Kamsi always. No. These days we have the different children anchoring those sessions, being in charge and all of that. I was like this yesterday. Okay, I don't even, until they call me to the stage, for final matrons, input and all of that, I don't even show up. So my picture isn't even there, my face isn't even there. It's just them. And I listened to 10 to 14-year-olds yesterday. I listened to them talk about solutions, talk about how you figure when you have a problem, how you break that problem out, how you create solutions. And that's because at the back of what we do, the goal in the mastermind is to help the children see themselves as people who are creating value. And you don't create value for yourself, you create value for other people. Very, very key. Very key. All right, number 5, the very last one. What time is it? We still have time. All right, the very last one I'm going to be talking about today is get your children to do something. As far as your children are, they've grown, they are 8, 9, 10. Okay, as far as your children become, by the time they become, young school age children to preteens, remember the show is for preteens, get your preteens to do something that is valuable to some other people. Okay, so first of all, I said number 4 is get them to think value. Now, by the time they become preteens, you should have, I mean, if they are thinking value, you are supporting them, you are helping them become creative. By the time they become preteens, they would find that thing. Your 8, your 10-year-old will find that thing that they can do that can give value to people. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's just that the child makes zobo for the family every weekend. That is my task, as in let the child know that he makes zobo for the family every weekend. He does not have to be paid. It depends on your values. Okay, I mean, you could be, and I mean, I completely respect that. Okay, for you it could be that, oh, your child won't be on social media, your child won't this, your child won't any, whatever it is. Okay, whatever your values are, whatever it is that you agree as a family, just make sure that your child is doing something of value regularly, and your child is seeing other people benefit from that value, and your child is getting the reward for value. Let your child get the reward for the value that they give. And as my son will say, the reward for value could simply be someone saying thank you and someone blessing you. The reward for value could be people recognizing you and recognizing the light that you shine. The reward for value could be you being a person of relevance and you being a person of influence. Okay, now you become a person of influence by the value that you give. You become influential, right? Because you give out value. The reward, I mean, the reward for value could be that people are willing to pay for the value that you give. Anyhow you want to look at it, people would always reward you for value. People will always reward you for the value that you give. That's the truth. And this reward could be in kind. This reward could be in payment. It could be in anything, but by all means, make sure that if your child is giving out value, they get the what do you call it? They get the reward for the value that they give. So let your child make zobo for the family every weekend. You will realize that before you know it, everybody is appreciating this child for the Zobo. They are giving him accolades. They are, you will recognize, wow, your Zobo is nicer now. I mean, the child will grow better in that production. All right. So is it like you want to take a bottle to each of the neighbors? You have 2 neighbors to the left and to the right, and he wants to take a bottle to them every week. Let him take 1 bottle to each of the neighbors every week. Before you know it, the neighbors will be expecting that, what do you call it, Zobo every week. You will be amazed that, somewhere, somewhere, when the Zobo doesn't come, they'll be wondering, what happened this week and everything. Someone is already dependent on him to solve a problem. Okay, let them go and give the Zobo to the neighbor, and the neighbor, and let them see the satisfaction, or let them see the appreciation, right? Let them see the appreciation from the, in the face of this neighbor and all of that. All of these things are very key in your child being a productive person. You will be amazed that from just giving Zobo to the neighbors, your child will think up other ideas, from there. So whatever it is it in his classroom, let him anything, but just make sure that your preteen already has something that he or she does. Is it cooking? Your child cooks, and hey, he knows that everybody expects lunch. I mean, he makes lunch or he makes dinner or whatever it is. Let your child have a responsibility that is value driven, and then the child begins to enjoy doing that thing. No one is going to ever be able to take it away from them. Okay, that's how they learn to do things without stress. All right, there are kids that if you tell them, go and boil water for me, they are probably going to pull down the house. There are kids that you tell them, boil an egg for me, it's a problem. Yet there are children who will go in there and they will make you a three-course meal, and they will do it from a place of joy. It is because someone has introduced them to the act of giving out value early, and the child has done it over and over again to the point that it becomes an intrinsic, you know, ability, or becomes an intrinsic desire, and not just something that you are forcing them to do, or something that someone is having them do. It's very, very important that we know this. All right, so that is it. I have just given you 5 powerful, powerful tips, right? On how you can get your children to start doing productive things. And hey, if they do the productive things that can be paid for, that people are willing to pay for, don't you ever make your child feel guilty about making money. Do not ever make your child feel guilty about making money. If your child puts that thing out and someone is willing to pay for it, the person pays for it, the person comes back to pay for it a second time, it means that the person got value from what your child has created. The moment what your child has created goes beyond just the family, okay, just beyond uncles giving them money because they just want to support them, and the neighbor is willing to pay for it, and the neighbor pays for it a second time. Simply, nobody pays for what is not valuable. So the moment people are willing to pay for the value that your child is giving, please do not discourage the child, provided the child understands it from a place of value. Okay, after all the school, everything that we're doing is so that what? So that one day we will get good jobs, so that we will pay us and all of that. So you're working towards being paid, and then you say your 13-year-old should not get paid because he's not old enough to get paid. So that what will happen? So go and do the job that you need to do to make your child understand money from a place of value. When you do that, you won't be afraid that when your children know about money today, they won't be focused. My son has made money since he was 7. Oh, since he was, yeah, 7. That was when he started the juice company. He's made money for 4 years. And yet, he's not obsessed about money yet. Right? He's made money from when he was 7, and he's still not obsessed about money yet. It is the narrative. Yet there are children that have not made 1 naira of their own. 1 naira of their own. They just know all the gifts and all the gadgets and all the designer things that you buy for them as parents, and they are crazily obsessed about money. I watched a video the other day of a girl that turned 16 and her mother bought her a certain car, and she went ballistic. I don't want a Tesla car. I don't want a Tesla car. Is this what you get from me? I said, I want a Mercedes Benz and all of that. That's probably a child that has never made $1 of her own. Yet she is there picking what kind of car she wants to drive at sweet 16. Okay, and then she says, oh, that's the cash you give me? This very little cash? That's all you give me at my sweet 16? All of that. Okay, so how your children relate to money, or how your children see money, is not a function of whether you expose them to making it early. It's a function of the narrative that you have given them, about money. Very, very key. All right. So, hey, this month we're going to have a challenge. Okay. This month we're going to have a challenge where we would have a challenge for a whole 2 weeks where we're going to take these activities, productive activities. We're going to help you introduce productive activities to your children. Okay. We're going to help the children start doing productive things. So every year, every day, we're going to have a productive activity that your child can get into, basically. All right. And you can do that for 2 weeks together so that at the end of the day, your children, you have introduced productive activities in your space, and yeah, your child can continue or you can continue with it. It's going to be one of those challenges that are not really expensive, and you can jump right in and go with us on this 2 weeks journey where we would do introduce an activity, productive activity every day to get our children to that point. All right. So if you would like to be a part of that activity, just write in the comments. I can't wait for the activity. I can't wait for the productive activity or for the play, learning through play activity. I can't wait for it. We're going to have it sometime. We're going to launch it sometime this month, right? Especially for those of you in Nigeria, right? Very soon, the children are going to be home for a bit, right? Because of all the election, and all of that. So we won't be home for long. But hey, while they're at home, you have what you're going to be doing. A lot of us are there already thinking of how we buy food, how we buy this, how we buy that, and keep in the house. Are you also thinking of the productive things that you will get your child into? Or you're just crossing your leg and waiting for the school to decide what to make your children or what to get your children doing. You don't think of how you can get your child to be productive. So we need to be more ambitious or more creative as parents and think of how we can get our children to be productive as opposed to leaving the school to do everything for us. It's not the same. All right. Thank you very much, everyone who made time to join me here. I do not take it for granted. I hope you got value from this session. If you did, please put it in the comments that you got value from the session. Okay. If you're catching the replay, let us know you're catching the replay and where you're catching the replay from, and let us know if you got value from the session. Thank you very much, everyone. I see you, baby. I see you, Chidima. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Any questions? Matthew, Margaret, thank you. Praise Ejiro. Thank you for being here. Good afternoon to you. Nkiru, thank you for everyone who made time. Are you still here? Thank you, everyone who made time to be here. If you got value, let us know that you got value from this session. Okay, give us a thumbs up. Give us a fire emoji. Just let us know that this was worth your while. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week for another Skill Up Your Child show. Okay, another episode of the Skill Up Your Child show. And hey, we are here in the group, always, always dishing out knowledge back to back to back to back. And if you would like your child to be a part of the mastermind, sorry, we have closed for the year, okay? But we have opened the waiting list for next year, and that waiting list, next year cohort would actually begin in September of this year. So we'll start with the academic year, basically. All right, so you can enroll and join us in September. But hey, catch your slot right now so that you pay a lower fee. Okay, after March is going to be the fee for next year. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant rest of the day. Bye. All right, Instagram.